What do you think about creating an ecosystem with 5G networks?
The ecosystem for 5G is really important. One of the things that we've learned with 4G systems, with LTE system, is that we really need to build a big ecosystem from day one. And in the 4G case, it was about the smartphones and the tablets, and now also the TVs and other things that are connected. For 5G, this is going to be even more important. So we go beyond the ecosystem of smartphones and tablets and TVs into Internet of Things, into connected cars, into meters, into all kinds of other devices that industries outside our classical mobile ecosystem are representing.
Okay, how about digitalizing and mobilizing?
Well, that is a general trend in society, that most industries are digitalizing, making their products, making their goods smarter, data-driven, and also then connecting them or mobilizing them, as we say. And this trend, of course, is a long-term trend. So not every industry is now fully digitalized, fully mobilized. But over the coming 10 years or so, we will see basically every industry moving from an unconnected, basically physical world to a fully digitalized, fully mobilized situation. And that's where we are taking steps to work with the media industry. That is one of the early industries that are moving towards this, as well as the automotive, of course, the wearables, and basically every other industry one by one.
What are the drivers for edge cloud networks expanding towards the edges?
Well, networks as such, they are now being rebuilt into open platforms. So we take everything that previously was provided at a central place and make them virtualized, put them on clouds. And those clouds, they can reside in multiple places in the network. And the reason we're making these changes in the first place, using NFV, using SDN, and putting everything on a cloud infrastructure, is to gain flexibility. And flexibility is in terms of supporting new use cases, but it's also flexibility to connect to enterprise IT systems or connect to other industries that today are only using networks as connectivity. So we're rebuilding the networks to be open platforms for compute, for storage, and for wide area networking. And when we do that, some of the use cases, they really require distribution of that infrastructure. Today we have the media delivery with CDNs or MDNs, as we call them, media delivery networks, where data needs to be stored further and further out in the network for efficiency reasons, to be able to save bandwidth, but also to get better user experience, because there's lower delay by moving applications further out all the way to the base station. So these distributed clouds supporting edge caching would get much better performance for users and efficiency for the network operators. If we look at it a little bit into the future, we will have much more sensors, much more devices connected to the network, and they will produce data. So we're talking about much more uplink traffic than today, where it's more dominated by the downlink traffic. And then these additional capabilities of being able to actually do the calculations, to have the compute all the way out at the edge, is also a very important part. So today we see the early use cases leading us to distribute, for example, caches and compute further out to the edge and beyond. And in the future we will see similar needs from these other use cases with uplink traffic, machine-to-machine, Internet of Things, which are basically requiring the same type of distribution of compute. So those are some of the basic reasons. And this is a gradual journey. Of course, it will still be important to have central processing, central compute, but also central storage. But we also see use cases where it's distributed further out.